2022 has been a tough year for video game sales. While the final numbers aren't out yet, it's clear that we're going to see an overall decline versus 2021. In spite of that, we have seen some strong performances by new Patreon games over the past year, including a record-setting breakout from this year's #1, which we'll get to in a little bit. This year's top 10 new Patreons reflect a wide variety of flavors, themes, and styles of gameplay. It's safe to say that while the overall video game industry may be suffering from a decline, the growth of the adult game space is continuing its climb into the mainstream. At number 10, we have Lost Legacy. Your father has died and left you with a mountain of debt, and obviously, there's only one possible solution. Have any of you noticed that having a living father in these types of games is about as rare as having a living mother in a Disney movie? This is from the same developer that makes Sex Note, and the character design is similar. However, the animations are a massive improvement at 60 frames per second, even if they currently are silent. Lost Legacy is available for PC, Linux, and Android on their Patreon. Our next title, My Harem Saga, comes in at number 9. This is a trainer-style game with romance and corruption themes. There are mini-games and the animations are decent with sound. This does feel a lot like a mobile game, but at least we don't have any microtransactions. Yet. My Harem Saga is available for PC, Mac, and Android on their Patreon, with a free playable browser version on itch.io. At number 8, we have Novella University. This is the new college harem game from the creator of Fetish Locator. In this sort of prequel that takes place before the events of Fetish Locator, you play as an undercover investigator trying to solve the mystery of 3 missing college students. But I'm sure you won't let some pesky wannabe 21 Jump Street plot get in the way of what this is really about. There are high-quality renders and animations throughout the game, as well as in the sexual interactions that have sound. Novella University is available for PC, Linux, and Mac on their Patreon. Coming in at number 7, we have Indecent Wife Hannah. This is a Netherose flavored game about a husband and wife. For those unfamiliar with this flavor, it's generally about consensual cuckolding and wife sharing. There is usually some level of corruption involved as well, which seems to be the case here as the two of you, explore the town. This feels a lot like a Japanese-style visual novel, with the sexual interactions having sound, but no animations. Indecent Wife Hannah is available for PC, Mac, and Linux for free on their Patreon and itch.io. At number 6, we have Grandma's House. Take your standard cohabitation harem format, and just add a whole other level of crazy and nonsense. This is a lighthearted, farcical romp that doesn't rely very heavily on story or plot. But for those who enjoy these types of flavors, it's a fun escapist junk food binge. Unfortunately, currently there are no sounds or animations. Grandma's House is available for PC, Linux, Mac, and Android on their Patreon with free builds available on itch.io. At number 5, we have Kiss My Camera. This is a casting couch style simulator with a focus on multiple parody and furry characters. There's already a really decent character customization feature that allows you to modify body types in multiple ways, with planned additions to include personalities, clothing, and other mechanics. The animations are already really good at 60 frames per second, but there's currently no sound. Kiss My Camera is available for free in browser on their Patreon. Our only sci-fi game of this year's list is Lost Odyssey, coming in at number 4. You are able to customize the physical characteristics and gender identity of the main character, as well as the types of power exchange you wish to experience. All of the romanceable characters are male, but this does include a number of anthropomorphic space dinosaurs. There are a lot of really cool features and it's very detailed, so it feels like I'm playing a text-based game like Corruption of Champions, but with more images. Unfortunately, there are no animations or sounds with any of the sexual interactions. Lost Odyssey is available for PC, Linux, Mac, and Android on their Patreon, with free builds available on itch.io. The number 3 game on this year's list, Home Together, is hard to describe. This is an interactive 3D game that uses the Unreal 5 engine, where you can switch between the male and female character. However, currently there is not really any gameplay, just the ability to customize the characters and sexual interactions. There is sound and the female characters are voiced, and this looks amazing, so I am really hopeful about where this game is headed. You know, once it actually has gameplay. Home Together is available for PC for free on their Patreon and itch.io. At number 2, we have Strange Girl Studios, which is working on multiple shorter style games simultaneously. the most popular of which is Lovecraft Locker. I'm not even going to try to explain any of these games. Let's just say that they should all fall under a new flavor classification of chaotic neutral madness. Every game left me with so many questions, but there are animations with sound. Strange Girl Studios games are available for PC, Linux, Mac, and Android for free on their Patreon and itch.io. And finally, the #1 new Patreon adult game of 2022 is Project Melody: A Nut Between Worlds. I did a full review of this game earlier this month, but this is a highly ambitious open-world adventure using the Unreal 5 engine starring Project Melody. While I do have some reservations about the long-term viability of this undertaking, this game has not only outperformed the first years of both the 2020 new Patreon of the year, Virtual Succubus, and the 2021 new Patreon of the year, Fresh Women, it has even exceeded the explosive growth that Harem Saga had in its first year in 2016. That is by no means a guarantee of future success, but I am going to give credit where credit is due. So congratulations to Project Melody: A Nut Between Worlds, available for PC on their Patreon. There you have it. The adult game space continues to grow even in the face of the decline of the rest of the video game industry. I'm not sure what 2023 will bring, but I am certain if new developers continue to innovate, and sometimes shamelessly copy other successful franchises, then next year's list will be awesome as well. Let me know which Patreon you'd like the most this year. For the past 2 years that I've been doing this, there have always been breakout successes that have come from these lists, including the 2022 Game of the Year. Spoilers. But you'll have to wait a few more weeks to hear about that. Until next time, no shaming, just gaming. Thanks to all this month's support on Patreon. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you all.